Throughout my young adult year from 2017 to 2022, I've never quite received any women attraction. I think it only happened like 3 or 4 times throughout 5 years. But this year alone, I've received countless of events, scenarios that is quite funny to think about, because some of these women, they're willing to go out of their way or even make excuses just to be around my presence. When I was in public places, I would get people to glance at me. I mean, that's just normal stuff. People just like glance at you for a little bit and then they're like, oh yeah, just another human, and then they go back to do whatever they're currently doing. But when I'm on semen retention, people are not glancing at me. They started to stare at me. Sometimes it got up to a point where it felt weird for a woman to stare at me for such a long period of time. It kind of gets a little creepy at some point. I'm not kidding. And when they were staring at me, it wasn't that stare. There's just like, I wanna kill you, or like I wanna f you, or something like that, right? That was just fucking stupid. Oh shit. I kicked the camera. So it wasn't that type of look, but it's more about the type of look that you can just feel the vibe that just says there's something going on with you and I would love to find out why. That kind of look, if you know what I mean. Like they're just like, they're not staring blank at me like this or like in a creepy manner. They're like, huh, interesting. I cannot really mimic how they stare at me, but you really gotta try semen retention for you to find out yourself. So the main question is, why does keeping your seminal fluid increases attraction? Now you might heard people saying that when you're on semen retention, your aura just shines and people can notice that immediately. You're like this lighthouse that attracts all the boats coming to the shore, and they tell you that you just glow differently when you're on semen retention. So the first one is, I think, is the most logical reason of why it increases women attraction, and that is testosterone. We all know that testosterone is essential in building your masculine characteristic. While the feminine energy is much more emotional, is always moving around, and it is attracted to masculine energy. I've noticed a lot of changes in my body itself, not just in physical appearance, but in mental state as well. I feel myself becoming much more confident when I'm talking, not just to men, but women as well. I started to grow lots of hair on random spot on my body, which is just weird. And the way I speak to people is much more articulate, and I always find myself, using a much more complex vocabulary. And some of the people also tell me that I start to develop a much lower voice, and women can sense all of that. They just know that your vibe is just different. 2 weeks ago, I was hanging out with a friend and we were having a conversation. I remember the time when I was talking, it was just some random stuff, and she immediately stopped me. She literally stopped me right there and then, and she told me, how did you become so confident? And I was like, what? I was just speaking normally. I was just becoming who I am. I felt like I was just speaking like how I used to speak, but other people can actually sense that, which is just amazing. Number 2 is, you don't see women as objects anymore. When I was fapping 6 times a day 3 years ago, I kept fantasizing weird things, man. Like if I'm in public places and there are women around, I would automatically imagining them naked or having sex with them. I know for some of the men it's just a normal thought, but after I went through NoFap and semen retention, it just feels disgusting. And when I'm retaining all of those thoughts, poof, gone. And instead of imagining them naked and then go back home fapping, imagining you're having sex with them, I was more interested in talking to them, getting to know more about them. Throughout 2023 alone, I've spoken with more women than I have spoken in the past like 5 years. There was no nervous feeling at all because I was just absolutely being able to be myself now. Like I was really this present Albert, and I was just this laid back Albert that just don't care if a woman rejects me or if she says no if I ask her on the date. And instead of thinking, oh fuck, what should I say? What should I say to her? Will, if I say this, will it turn out to be awkward? Or if I say this, will she reject me? No. When I'm cold approaching women, most of the time I find myself saying the most basic shit that you can think of. Something as simple as, hey, what's up? How long have you been working out in the gym? What are you working on today? It's that simple. It's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. And women can sense that. It's like they have this emotion radar that is attached here. Like they have this little antenna up there. So let me just put it, I don't know. Like they have this little antenna up here that they can detect whether you're feeling nervous or whatever you're currently feeling right now. Alright, moving on to the last one. You're aligned with your purpose. Again, if you haven't been on semen retention, I highly recommend you guys to try it for at least just 14 days and see the benefit for yourself, because it is just astounding, bro. When you're on semen retention, you're just laser focused towards your own goal and you're always chasing after your own purpose. And when you do that, you subconsciously carry this habit through what you do on a daily basis. Like the way you walk, you just holding your chest up, you just look forward, you're chin is up. You're not faking this shit anymore. You ever find yourself in a room and then where someone enters the room, they would do something like this, like when they open the door, they will look sideways. They're just checking the room around, see if there's any people around the room. Compared to the person when they're walking, they just know where they're going. Like they just look forward. Like their eyes is just aligned with their footstep of where they're going. Again, you cannot fake this shit. It just happens automatically to you. Because most of the time, you're doing this subconsciously. Now, I really wanted to end this with one advice. Don't start NoFap or semen retention because you want to get the women attraction, or you want to get a girlfriend, or you want to get a match on Tinder, whatever that is. I want you to start NoFap because you want to challenge yourself to show that you're able to control your very own sexual urges. Simply put it this way, if you're able to control yourself internally, whether what you eat, what you do, you will ultimately control your life and start to live the life that you want. Remember, if you go easy in life, then life will be hard. But if you go hard in life, then life will be easy. Find comfort in discomfort. See you next video. Cheers.